Hello, hello, welcome everyone. I'm Leilani, as you know. Welcome to Leilani TV and Conscious Conversations. I have an amazing guest here with us today who I'm really excited to introduce to you guys. Her name is Dr. Suzanne Lee, and I just recently had the pleasure of being introduced to her. Let me just share a little bit about her background, and I'm going to turn the floor over to her. Dr. Lee has a PhD in psychology. She is a very well known published author of 10 books. A couple of her books are that are very popular are I Saw a Garden and Preparing for First Contact. Dr. Lee has really been helping a lot of people. She has a very large audience on her YouTube channel, over 17,000 subscribers, a blog she regularly posts to, and all of the places that you can find her, I'm going to share in the description below with you so you can learn more about her. Today, we're going to be speaking with her. She's going to be giving me a reading. And I'm very excited about that. And I'll let her share a little bit first about herself, maybe if I left anything out, and also about the reading that she's going to do with us today. So welcome, Dr. Lee.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here and happy to meet all of you. Even though I don't see you, I can feel you.
I love that. I love that. So anything that you think that you're really passionate about, something that in your life, some of the things that you do that I may have neglected to mention that you'd like to share with my audience that hasn't yet gotten to know you just yet. And then I know we're going to put this on your YouTube as well. So a lot of your audience may already know these things, but maybe new visitors, new subscribers can learn about you as well.
The first thing that comes to my mind is that my husband and I really adore nature, and we recently moved up into this wonderful nature spot that no sidewalks, no stop signs, just trees. And we enjoy seeing how our yard changes. It's a very large yard, but we decided to just let nature do it. And so all these different seasons of nature have different kinds of ground cover. And then when the summer comes, then because we're in the woods, everybody has to mow off their lawns and cut off big branches and all those things for a safety device. So we go everything from beautiful, fluffy green to brown dirt. It's kind of like life. You know, we got fluffy green and we got brown dirt. You know, we just have to learn to live within that which surrounds us and realize that we are the creators of our reality. And if we want to find the solution, we need to begin by going inside of ourselves and ask ourselves, why did I choose to create this? You know, if I'm supposed to learn something, can we get on with it now, yesterday?
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. I love that. I love that. And then when you're ready to really say, let's get on with it, then you can actually move to the next level. But until then, it just kind of slaps you around, right?
Right, exactly. Because you have, I can't because I can't because I can't because, and you run out of I can't because. And then it's like, maybe I could. And then it's like, what the heck, I'm just going to try.
Yes.
As soon as you try, that's perfect. Then you began.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Now, today, the reading you're going to be giving me is an Arcturian reading. And I'm really excited about this because I have been learning, just recently been studying and learning about the Arcturians and feeling a real connection. And I wanted to know more. And out of nowhere, our mutual friend introduced us just yesterday. And I was just like, this is incredible. This is, you know, very synchronistic. So I'm very excited and grateful that you're going to do this with me. And then also, you know, for you guys watching, she has an amazing webinar that she's going to be doing this coming Saturday. I'm going to put all this information in the description below, but it's going to be this Saturday, February 16th, 2019 at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the webinar is going to be about opening ancient portals. And after Dr. Suzanne Lee is done giving the reading, so you can learn more about what she does, then we'll talk more about what's going to be in the webinar. So stay tuned to the end. But yeah, so before we jump right in, since I've never experienced this before, will you share with me a little bit of how this goes? And
okay, a reading from the Arcturians. Okay, from the time I was a little child, I kind of felt like there was this kind of golden being that was around me.
mm-hmm.
And I went to church, so I thought, well, this has got to be Jesus, because that's the only concept that I had. And I think the Jesus energy is a component of the Arcturians, and maybe they're fully merged within this now. I haven't actually really asked that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was used to talking to myself and learned to keep my mouth shut about it a bit. And then when I got my PhD, we had this wonderful small class, and everyone was so open to just be themselves. And I was kind of like almost the psychic, the resident psychic for the class. And so that gave me confidence to like come out and to not have it be, before that I was a psychotherapist. So I didn't do any of the psychic stuff then, because that's not what they came for. And so I think it's important, if one is going to give someone a reading from a higher dimension, that they're aware of what that means. And basically what that means is that the third dimension is not the only dimension of reality. That's a physical plane. And the fourth dimension is our emotions and our dreams. And the fifth dimension is that doorway, that passageway to move into a higher frequency of reality that resonates to the here and the now. So first, second, third, fourth has a degree of time. Fifth dimension doesn't have time. There's just now. And we have pet birds, okay? Our birds stop now. Their stomach might say that it's time to peck around and get some food, but they don't have a time. They live in the now. And we've had these birds for like 30 years, so we've been constantly connected with these beings that don't have time. They live in the now. Yeah.
That's incredible. Whew, okay. Well, I'm excited. I'm ready to jump right in if you are. I'm not sure exactly what to ask, I guess. If we can start off with, I think you said we start off in meditation typically. Is that what you like to do?
Sure, I'll give a little bit of a meditation, and then just say whatever you want to say.
Okay.
Okay, so just take a long, slow, deep breath. Now, I'm closing my eyes, and I recommend that you close your eyes so that you shut out the outer world for a minute. Go inside to your inner world. And the first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you're sitting so your spine is straight. Because as we pull the higher energy fields into our crown chakra, which is at our soft spot, and it goes all the way down our spinal column, and then from the spinal column it splits into our legs, and we ground that energy in the body of Gaia. And humans have the ability to consciously recognize and welcome higher frequencies. So just take a long, slow, deep breath, and I'm just going to do it 3 times, because you want your exhale to be twice as long as your inhale. So you inhale, 1, 2, hold, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, in, 1, 2, 3, hold, out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what occurs is that when you realize that you have control over your breath, then that means you have control over your life, because your life is your breath and your breath is your life. If you don't have breath, you no longer have life. And if you have life, you must have breath. And that breath is what connects you with all that is around you. Because the breath that you come in is the same breath that the trees and the ground and the clouds and the people and all that you are surrounded by, they're all having that same kind of energy field, that frequency of energy field. Now, of course, there are many frequencies of energy field, from one of highest bliss all the way down to the deepest depression. Now, even deepest depression is a stop sign. When one goes into deepest depression, it's like, okay, stop sign, I need to get help. Something is not going right with me and I'm not figuring it out, and I'm reaching out to a physical person to get some help. And once one makes that promise to themselves, then they're not so afraid, because they know that there's always a safety net. There is always a safety net. And our own higher expressions of selves, our true Palladian selves that we are in our fifth dimensional selves, and our Arcturian selves that resonate far beyond the fifth dimension, they are with us. They are a component of us, and we are a component of them. And it doesn't matter if you know it or if you don't know it, because your own higher self knows it. The higher beings that you are innately relating to and moving from and remembering, they always love you unconditionally. And so now let's take a moment, and I'm going to give a little bit of a reading to our friend here. And I'm going to call in the Arcturians. And as you notice, I'll do it by 3 long, slow, deep breaths. And I make the exhale twice as long as the inhale. And that's what really expands your consciousness. So we'll all do it 3 times. Just breathe in. 1, 2, hold, out. Now breathe in. 1, 2, 3. You're going to breathe out. 2, 6. And now feel, it's almost like a big vacuum cleaner opened up inside of you, cleared out that which is no longer necessary. And that opens your consciousness to bring in that which perhaps you didn't feel that you were ready for, or you didn't think that you could believe it, but now you can believe, and now you are ready. And it doesn't matter what you believe, and it doesn't matter how you experience ready, because this is your experience. Okay, so now I always begin a reading by asking the person I'm reading the first question. So just give me one question, and then after that we'll go. But that one question says a lot, because you only have one question. So why did you choose that question? Okay. So what is that one question? Knowing that there's people that are seeing this, and so you may not want to be too vulnerable or whatever. That's totally up to you. Yeah.
Thank you. My question is surrounding my ultimate, my larger purpose on Earth, and if I'm moving in the right direction. Right now I feel like I am moving in the right direction, living in, the moments of what I feel are clear and authentic for me, and clearing out things that that I'm not here to do. But I just want to make sure that, you know, if I can get even more clarity on that direction, and if I'm headed that direction.
All right, the clarity that we will begin by giving you is realizing that your own physical body is going to give you a great deal of information about whether you are maintaining this flow of your higher dimensional expressions, or if you've fallen out a bit. And go inside of your body. Suzanne, the first part of her body that speaks is always her stomach. So when she's getting off track, up comes the stomach. So knowing that means that, oh, I don't have to go out and get Alka-Seltzer, which I do sometimes, because you have to take care of the physical part too. But realize it's okay. Body, what do you have to say to me? So now go to your body, and which part of your body do you feel is communicating with you the most right now?
So I get my my heart chakra area, like that energy. If something feels good or bad, I can feel a change there.
And so what are you getting from your heart chakra right now?
Well, it's hard to tell. I have some anxiety in that area, in the general, you know, that I've been, you know, releasing throughout the week. So that a little that is still there from, you know, just some situations that are going on. But as a general thing, it has been feeling very good. Like I'm, you know, doing the right things and making the right choices and working on the right things.
So you just said the perfect thing, that you're having a challenge and you're a little worried about whether or not you could really fulfill this challenge. But you have discovered through this challenge, which is a wonderful gift within this now, because now you know that your body will tell you. Your body will tell you, it's like, don't answer that phone. Your body will tell you, don't step onto the street. Your body will tell you, you need to sit down and put your feet up. Your body will say, doesn't it feel good to just relax? And so the body has its own language, and it's just for each person. Each person has their very own body, and their very own body speaks to them in that specific manner that their body speaks to them.
Yes.
Did you wish to speak to what areas of your body? For me, Sue, my stomach is the loudest speaker. It's the first one to speak up. And I had some difficulties when I was a child and things, and so my stomach has always been very sensitive. And sensitive isn't always bad. Sensitive is also being a sensitive. So what would you say one of your most sensitive parts of your body are?
That same area, you know, I think that's what stood out to me about the Arcturians so much is, you know, people say, oh, you're an empath, you know, because I can feel certain things. But for me, it seems like it's a little bit different than being an empath. For me, I can actually feel physical pain when I see something unjust or mean. And it physically hurts me in this area, and I have to work time to clear it. And that can be something as simple as something that has nothing to do with affecting my immediate family or household, but if it's something I see out generally when I'm, you know, if I'm at the grocery store and I see someone being mean to someone in the aisle, I mean, anything that is unkind or unjust, it can manifest as a feeling in my body, and that I have to do meditative work to release and go into quiet space, because I have a hard time keeping it away. And a lot of times it's because I'm drawing people in too, because I'm a healer as well. So it's a lot of that going on. And then it's also the the mental aspect of it, I in my mind, I logically can't figure out how people can operate from that space. So it weighs heavily in my mind. And I try to release the understanding of, you know, evil or bad or unjust and why people can operate in that space, and just release it as just being what is, and how, you know, we learn lessons, but it's all stuff that weighs on me.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
that, of course, is the faith of someone who is the healer. And there's many forms of healing. You could heal through your voice, you could heal through your aura, you could heal through your awareness, because in that very moment where you experience that, you feel this moment of empathy. And empathy is a beautiful feeling. It's like a butterfly. It just flies around. And maybe that person, probably that person, that abused person, would not even allow you to perceive that they felt what you gave them, because they have learned to not trust. That's because they were abused. But when you're working with abused people, then you have to know that it's going to take a whole lot of your out before they're going to be able to consciously say thank you. But it does go in.
Wow.
And therefore, you just send off that gift. And two things that we, the Arcturians, have given to Suzanne is blaze, blaze, blaze the violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, light, light. And if you say that 3 times, the violet fire is the highest frequency of light. And we all have violet fire within us, but we have to activate it. We have to consciously activate it. And when we say, blaze, blaze, blaze the violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, 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 then that activates that. And then we can follow that with saying, I send you unconditional love and violet fire. They will probably never know that, but they will wonder why they suddenly feel better.
Can you repeat that mantra slowly again? Blaze, blaze, blaze. The violet fire?
Violet fire. Violet is the highest frequency of light.
Okay.
But violet's even above purple anyway, because it's so yummy, you know. Say blaze, blaze, blaze.
Blaze, blaze, blaze.
The violet fire.
The violet fire.
Transmuting all shadow.
Transmuting all shadow.
Into light, light, light.
Into light, light, light.
Okay, so now we're going to say it with our emotion.
Okay.
Because our emotion is our carrier wave. And we all know that, going back to the grocery store or any kind of a store. If you ever walk down an aisle and suddenly you get this feeling like, whoa, oh, what happened? Someone walked in my grave. Probably that person was really in a bad space. And picked up. Or maybe you're walking down, you're kind of a little grouchy, and then suddenly you walk by this person, and you go, oh, look at this bird up there. You know, our auras are always blazing. We're always moving up, down, around, and through. And we can really experience it when we wake up. And the good thing about waking up is that, I remember one time I was walking down the street, and the person behind me had the most painful energy field that I forgot something to myself and walked around, because I didn't want that person walking behind me. Because their energy field was very strong, and it was very negative, and I could also feel that they weren't at all open to, they were in it, they were enjoying it. You know, they weren't open to. And so you'll be able to feel when somebody is open to your healing mantras, and when they're enjoying their misery right now, and please don't bother them.
Okay. Okay. And when they're in that space of enjoying their misery, there's really no mantra that's gonna.
No, because they're enjoying it. They're and also they're enjoying it means that they are starting to make friends with themselves. You know, because when you're in the grips of that, whatever that is, you know, that fear that you know, we all have something that drives us crazy. When you're in the grips of that, then you're kind of like frozen. It's like, you know, and then that's when you know that, and you just do it inside your own self. You don't have to do it out loud. It's just a blessing that you send out. And then that person can say, yeah, I don't want that blessing. But the blessing says, okay, and then it goes on to the next person that does want it. The energy field.
Right. Wow. That's wonderful. Wonderful. What is there anything that you think is important for me to know right now on my journey?
Take care of yourself first. It's kind of like when you're on an airplane and there's damage, they say the very first thing you do is pull down your mask and put it on your face. Because if you're suffocating, you cannot help anybody else. And so we have to keep ourselves in a place that we can help people. And sometimes, you know, I mean, I've been helping people from forever, but there's days I don't want to help anybody. You know, I curl up and I watch Star Trek or something. You know? Okay, to just be just a straight up, flat out human. And that's important. We need to do that as well. And you have a very large empathy within you. You're an empath. Right?
Yes, yes.
And so being an empath is the good news and the bad news. It's the good news is that it's so wonderful to feel all the goodness, but it's the bad news because you can feel things aren't good. And that's where the blaze of violet fire. And but remember, after you say blaze of violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light, then you close it off and say, I refuse to participate in that reality. You might say that 3 times. I refuse. You put out the sign, I refuse to participate in that reality. You have
right.
If they choose to not take it, that's their choice. But you're done. You are not going to allow that dark energy field to come onto you. You are a giver, and you don't want to give that energy field, so you don't want to have it.
Oh, this is bringing a lot of clarity, believe it or not. I mean, with this, you know, it's been decades where I've been trying to figure out how to be able to heal people, whether they realize it happening or not with certain things that I do, but not take on the pain of what they have in the process of healing them, and remaining so open, being susceptible to the physical pain, you know, anxiety and things like that from that process. So being able to say I refuse to take that on, I think is very powerful, and maybe something that's something I needed to hear.
Because you can't walk around open like that. It would be wonderful if we lived maybe on Venus or in some really sweet, loving community, but we don't. You know, we live in a world that has a lot of fear. It has a lot of anger and a lot of danger. And we want to keep our antennas to work. And so if we're going to be Pollyanna, then, you know, I mean, I've done things like I feel somebody walking behind me and I go away and, pretend I have to do something on my phone to get them ahead of me. Because I don't want them walking behind me. You know, because I can feel that energy field. And then sometimes over there, and they're walking away from me, I'll see if they want a blessing. Many times they don't. And so if they don't want it, then I don't give it.
Right.
They're in their process of having a massive pity party, and they're wanting to be angry at whatever they're angry at, and that's their choice. It's not our choice to try to fix somebody that doesn't want to get fixed.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be a participant. I'm not talking about, somebody comes in from a car accident. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about daily life people working with their own consciousness and their own aura.
Mm-hmm.
That we are the boss of our aura.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we'll be someplace and we come back and our aura is just all bright and shiny and like, that was fun. And sometimes we come back and our aura is like, oh, I need to sit down. I'm exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's when we have to do the blaze the violet fire and, get a nice warm drink and put your feet up. And I love you very much. That was a challenge. You did good, girl. Give us everything that we want, we can give ourselves.
Right.
And of course, it's always great to have a maid and children and family to give it to us. Wow, that's wonderful. But that does not mean instead of giving it to ourselves.
Wow. That's very, very important. I agree. So do you have anything that you think is important for, people who are watching, any message for people who, I know you're answering questions for me, but I'd love to see if you have a message for the people who are viewing this, and just kind of share that experience with them.
Beloved ones, we are the Arcturians. We are so proud of what our awakened ones have been remembering about themselves and about their mission. And we invite you to allow your wonderful gift of imagination to remember your life on your starship, to remember your life in your fifth dimensional homeworld, to remember your choice that you made to come down to physical Earth, to be born into a physical body, because you could hear the cry of Gaia. And the cry of Gaia is very loud to those who are awakened. And you can just look just within the last couple of winters and the things that have been happening just to Gaia just in the United States. And much more. I mean, I'm old and I've been on Gaia this whole time. We never had this kind. Very, very rare do we have these kinds of weather patterns. Mm-hmm. And what's happening is that humans are creating horrific problems. They are putting things into our body, things on our land, things in our air, all these things that are bad for her. It's like if you had a good friend and you said, oh, come on in and have a glass, and you give them a little, little glass of arsenic. Oh, great talking with you. And then the person,
Mm-hmm.
What we send out in our consciousness is what we give to Gaia. And that doesn't mean that we can't have a bad day. What that means is if we have a bad day, we can say, all right, why am I having a bad day? How much of this is about me? How much of this is something I picked up off of somewhere else? And if it's someone else that I picked it up from, I'm going to blaze a violet fire, transmuting all shadow into light. But if it's something that's inside of me, I'm going to call my higher guidance. I'm going to call my angelic family. I'm going to call my Arcturian family, my Palladian family, my Antarian family. I'm going to call up and say, help. It's a little tough down here in the third dimension again, and I really need to talk to my family. And it really helps if you write it down, because these kinds of conversations, as soon as you write them, they just fly right out of your brain. You're not used to holding that kind of information. So write it down, dear higher self, dear Arcturians, dear angelic leaders, whoever you feel in called to call in. This is what I see is happening, and I'm calling upon your help. And then they will say, dear beloved one, and they'll give you an answer. And it's better if you either write it down. First, I had to write it for a long time until I got really prolific with typing. And now I type it because I always share it. But sometimes I have to write it if it's really stuck. And then I have to type it off of the writing. That's a lot of work. Sometimes those will be audio ones because I don't have to type off of my writing. I can hardly read it, much less type off of it. So therefore, you have a beautiful aura. And there's a lot of violet in your aura, and I see a lot of green right here on your third eye. And green, first off, know what the colors mean, because it's a language. Colors are language, and it goes with the frequency. Red is the lowest frequency, and that means, like hard work or fear or anger or busting through something. And then, and that's kind of like the base of your spine, your first chakra. And the next chakra, your second chakra, is orange. And that's, a little tainted a little more with a little more awake awareness. It's not quite as harsh as red. And then your heart chakra is green. And green is fecundity, fertility, growing, life. And so your heart is the place that you want to get to. But if you have to heal your lower chakras first, please do. And then your throat is blue, and that's some communication. Oh, why did I say that? Or why did they say that to me? Those types of things. And then the dark, almost violet, but blue violet on your third eye, and that's perceiving something that is a little beyond your perception. Or something that maybe was disturbing, or something that made you feel wonderful. And then your crown chakra at the very top, which is violet, that's your door. And so what we do, a wonderful ritual to do whenever, it's kind of good to do when you're standing up, is just allow the highest light to come in through your crown and go down and just check in with each chakra. And then when you get all the way down with the first chakra, go down the legs, through the feet, and share it with beloved Mother Gaia.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that. Beautiful. That was very helpful. I really appreciate it. I'm going to use that mantra. I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
There's two. There's the blaze, blaze, blaze of violet fire. Transmuting all shadow into light, light, light. And then there's, I refuse to participate in that reality.
Okay.
Because there's some realities that's just not our business. And so we don't want to put our energy field onto there, because then we get tainted. We can't help them because they aren't asking. I was a therapist for many, many years, and if people don't ask for help, they don't want it.
Right. And there's nothing you can do.
There's nothing you can do. They have to get to that step one on their own. To say, I need help. And that's to get there on their own.
Wow. Okay, well, thank you so much. You're incredible. I'm so thankful I had an opportunity to interview you and also to get a reading from you. And I want to make sure you guys are still staying on for this information here, because I'm going to take out my notes so I can make sure to get this right for you. So I'm really excited about your webinar that's coming up Saturday, February 16th, so 2 days after Valentine's Day. And it's at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The webinar topic is going to be about opening ancient portals. And the webinar is going to cover quite a bit of information. And I want to go ahead and let you share a little bit about what you're going to cover in this webinar coming up, Dr. Sue.
Okay. Well, first off, I will be doing it with my partner, Monica, and she has actually been in Egypt opening portals. So she'll have some firsthand experiences of how that feels. Whereas for me, I haven't left. Well, I went to Norway and the United States and a little bit, but I haven't traveled like that. But for me, there's not just the portals that are in the ground, as we spoke of. These chakras, there are portals. And that's our responsibility to recognize when our portals are like our children. And if our children cry and we ignore them, they cry louder and louder and louder. And if you still ignore them, then they go out and break your favorite thing. Give me attention. I want attention. So it's just quickest to just give it attention right off the bat. Okay, throat chakra. What's happening? Is there something that somebody said or that you heard, because that's your ears and your throat? Or is it something that I need to say? And so you pay attention to your body. And not in, oh my heavens, that I go up one size, that I gain 5 pounds, did my feet get too big? No. To pay attention to giving love to your body and listening to your body and allowing your body to speak to you in the arrangement that you and your body has made.
I love that. And I know in the webinar you're going to cover, first of all, you're going to share, what a portal is for like you're, sharing a little bit about right now. And that way people, who have some confusion about portals and are not understanding, are starting off ground level, kind of is what I like to call it, like myself, who really want to have an understanding of all of this. So they're going to have that question answered. And then also how to recognize a portal. You shared you're going to cover that, I believe. And then how to open your consciousness to that portal. And you, I think you shared an experience with me before we were recording, right? About a portal you opened. It was really beautiful. If you want to share that.
Was that the flower portal?
Oh, yeah.
So I was in the midst of writing one of my first books. I was first starting to write. And this was a book about the fairies. And so we were in Big Sur, which I adore. It's a wonderful place. Ancient trees that are so high that you have to bend far, far back to even see the top. And when you walk through the redwood forest, you're not on Earth. You're in it's fifth-dimensional Earth. And so one time we'd had a long walk, and there was like a little picnic table. And then I saw a fairy, I call it a fairy circle, because it was a circle of yellow flowers in a perfect circle. And I was just starting to write then, and I thought, oh, I'm going to step in the fairy circle. So not careful not to do anything to the flowers. I stepped right in the center of the fairy circle, and I downloaded the whole book about my life in fairy book. In fact, I wrote 2. The whole book just went just like that. And I could feel like this energy field come in, but I can't say, I didn't start saying the whole book, because even then I knew if you don't write it down, you're not going to keep it. So I can't say enough to any of you. Whenever, I never go out without a pencil and paper, because you never know when you're going to get a message. And if you don't write it down, the 3D brain cannot contain it. You have to write it down. Yeah.
Wow, I must intuitively be knowing this, because I have journals everywhere and papers everywhere, and it's just, that's okay. So that's wonderful. Well, I just want to say thank you.
Future books everywhere.
Oh, I have future books everywhere. Is that what you said?
Yeah, in your journals.
You know what? I need to get on that.
If that was a gift to you, then that's the gift that has to keep on giving.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you've given so much to us today, me and the audience. I appreciate you so much. I want to make sure that all of you guys watching this today know exactly how to find, I've been calling her Dr. Sue, but her whole name is Dr. Suzanne Lee. You can find her on social media under Dr. Suzanne J Lee as well. It's spelled Lie, but it's pronounced Lee. Okay, and yes, and then you can find her on YouTube. She has the amazing amazing videos, many videos, many subscribers, and an amazing blog where she puts out regular content. What is it? Twice a week you blog, or once a week?
I try to not go more than 3 days.
Yeah, that's very consistent, and you have a lot of people. I looked at your blog. A lot of people are getting a lot of value out of that. So I definitely want people to see that. But most importantly, I want to make sure that you guys catch her webinar this coming Saturday, the 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch the information in the description below. And the link to her blog in the description below as well. So thank you so much for being with us, and thank you very much for my amazing reading. I really appreciate it, Dr. Sue.
Thank you. I appreciate talking with you, Vern.
Bye, everyone.
Everybody who can assist day, night, and life. Blessings be.
Yes, blessings.